Proactive people are able to stay one step ahead because they aren't wasting time solving problems that could have been avoided with proper planning. For example, if you have a presentation on Friday, don't leave it until Friday to prepare for it. What happens if an important project comes up that day and you're stuck trying to find time to do both? Proactive people make it a point to stay organized and efficient with their time to avoid situations like this. They manage their time by creating lists, getting work done early, cutting out distractions, focusing on one task at a time, and allowing enough time for each task or project. If you manage your time wisely and focus on your most important tasks, you can identify the tasks that are most important to your long-term success. Now, here's something else I learned. They did a study of 50 owners of companies, successful owners of companies like yourselves, and they asked them, what is the very best time management or business tool that you've ever discovered? 49 out of the 50 held up a yellow writing pad. And this is what they did. This is how they planned their day. They made a list, to-do list today. They wrote down everything they had to do. They always work from a list. If you don't work from a list, it's very much like taking your hands off the wheel of your car going down a winding road in the mountains. What happens is your life's going to go up and you're instantly going to start doing irrelevant and unimportant and useless things. And at the end of the day, you'll be exhausted and you'll have accomplished nothing.
Few hours of the day are more important than the early morning hours. One of the great thinkers said the first hour is the rudder of the day. It sets the tone for everything else that happens. These hours, when you first wake up, set the tone for the rest of the day, affecting your mindset and productivity during all the hours that follow them. Plan your day the night before. Planning out your day the night before may not exactly be part of your morning routine, but it is a great way to get your day started off right. In fact, I was just reading the story of a very successful self-made multi-millionaire, multi-business developer who said every single morning he starts off by reading his goals. Every morning. He never misses a single day. By planning out what you want to accomplish the night before, you can start off each day with a plan in mind rather than waking up unsure what it is you want to tackle first.
Sometimes I get up at 5 a.m. and I'll work for 2 or 3 solid hours. You can get an entire day's work done in 3 uninterrupted hours. As a matter of fact, again, we have found that it's impossible for you to do creative work and administrative work at the same time. If you have creative work to do, reports to do, proposals, anything that requires a sustained period of time to put together, you cannot do it at the desk when the telephone is ringing and people are coming in. You cannot do administrative and creative work together. You have to break them apart. In the office, you do administrative work and you cut away chunks of time for the important stuff that affects your future. One of the things that I do is I come into the office an hour early. I can clear off in 1 hour, I can do half a day's work. Another thing that you can do is stay at the office at lunchtime. Work at your desk. At lunchtime sometimes is the very best time to work.
You see, there is a crowding out principle in time and personal management. It simply says that if you spend all of your time on highly productive tasks, by the end of the day, you will have crowded out all the unproductive activities that might have distracted you from your real work and from what's really important. On the other hand, if you spend your time on low-value activities, the reverse happens. Those low-value activities will crowd out the time that you need to complete the tasks that can make all the difference in your life. And the key to this attitude toward time and personal management is always self-discipline.
I'm convinced that if all you did was organize your life and only work on the most valuable use of your time, that alone would be enough to make you an effective, efficient person. That alone would be enough to increase your productivity, your performance, your profitability, your rewards by 10, 20, 30, 40, even 50%. So always before you begin, ask yourself, is this the most important thing I could be doing? Is this my top priority task? Does this give me the highest payoff? Is this the most valuable use of my time? Now, here is one simple test with regard to value. Ask yourself, in approaching any task, is what impact will the accomplishment of this task have on my future? The futurity of decisions is the key to measuring the value. Most people spend as much as 80% of their time dealing with the problems and difficulties of the past, and only 20% dealing with the opportunities of the future.